In Place of War is a charity based in the University of Manchester. We've been running for about 12 years and we support arts and culture in sites of conflict. Voices of the Revolution as a project for In Place of War started about 5 years ago and was directed by Erilyn Wallen, who's a British composer. We invited 14 different women. A lot of them we chose because we've worked with them in the past. This gives them an international platform to kind of express what's happening in their country or to them personally, and also just get their music heard and be able to collaborate with women from very different backgrounds to them and share kind of their creativity.
So I sing in Bengali, and that's the language that's currently spoken in Bangladesh and in West Bengal in India. And I do that because my parents, my family, especially on my mother's side, they're all musicians. And so it makes sense for me to be able to mix different kinds of sounds, Eastern sounds and Western sounds, and produce something wholly different. Because that's who I am as well. I'm a mixture of East and West, and that's how the music hopefully comes across. And then music, in the East and in the West, has been a way that people protest against injustices. So, for example, for us, for Bangladesh, when it went through a period of war back in 1971, there was such a thing as the Free Bengal radio station, and people would listen to music that would inspire them to continue to fight for independence. So a lot of the music, even if it's not necessarily intended to be political when it starts out, becomes political, which is what happened with Kyo. We decided to cover the Bangladesh national anthem. A lot of the music I sing about and a lot of the songs I tend to identify with happen to be political in nature. Some of them are about freeing yourself from oppression in a collective way or in an individual way.
I'm Awa, African Women Arise. I'm a hip-hop artist from Zimbabwe. I sing about mainly issues that affect women in society. Teenage pregnancies, prostitution, domestic violence, HIV and AIDS.
I'm proud of my dark skin and my kinky hair. I embrace my Africanness. I'm a gorgeous daughter of the Ndebele soil. I will die and gladly lie underneath the Zimbabwean soil where my black people toil.
The songs that I sing about are my experiences, some of them, and most of them are inspired by the life that I see around me, in the townships, the hardships, politics, the economy. Rap cases, fake comes, Banyamalala, getting a camera, but batting as a background, but when you say Pasaka, Balil Kata Pasalipa, Hangvela Tugu, batting as a sloop on rappers, Pugu, telling Duke, Gingas Tugu, how to Battle, all over got to Fugu. So my songs are inspired about the life that I see around me in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
I'm Yusra Al-Haweri. I'm an accordionist from Egypt. I play accordion in a French, European way, but I sing in an Oriental way. When I choose the lyrics of a song, it's usually it's coming from what I see or I go through every day in the Egyptian society and in my family with my friends and from the Egyptian streets. So it just presents a girl my age living in Cairo nowadays, how her life would be.
وكمان قدام اللي واقف يحمي وكمان قدام اللي واقف يحمي.
I started my musical project after the revolutions. It's now like politics is taking a big part of our daily lives, not like before. So a lot of artworks, like films and music and even like paintings, are now more like politics are more involved in the art scene.
عالسور واللي بني واللي معلي واللي بيحمي عالسور واللي بني الراجل عمل بيبي.
Sometimes we just start jamming together, because we play different instruments. Like one of us start playing something and we start improvising with it. And sometimes it goes like this, that one of us says, I have a song that can really work if you played with this. So she starts to teach us this song and we have ideas and we can have like imagination how it's going to be, and then we play together.
I think what came out of it was mostly about learning and sharing about our different stories and different cultures, because that was the whole point of this project. The hardships that other people go through in their countries, you know.
I know some words of each language, and it's nice to know that we are, at the end, we're all the same, and we've been through the same challenges to achieve our musical projects and our ideas and everything like that.
It was a tall order. We were together 3 days and we had to learn 15 songs or however many songs, one from each person. But to actually find the commonalities between how we make that music.
My song is called Sangoma. It's a very traditional song in Africa, Southern Africa. A Sangoma is an African seer and a traditional healer. So my song basically talks about a bright future for women.
My song, that's a very, very old Bengali song, predates the existence of Bangladesh as a country. It's a folk song, and he's saying, if you don't know farming, and there's so much fertile land for you to be able to make something happen, and if you don't know it, ask for help, and it will come. the message is that you don't have to do things alone, and you don't have to, just because you don't know something doesn't mean that it can't happen for you.
My song, the song which I sing in this project, it's about kissing in the street, and it says that anything can happen in the street. Like you see people playing soccer and they dance, and sometimes they fight and kill each other, and everything can happen in the street. But it would be a scandal if one day we forgot and kissed each other in the street. And I think it specifically talks about the Egyptian society or the streets in the Middle East. They were very touched actually by the song, and they were like, "Oh, we want to sing in the song. We want to," and they learned the Arabic words to sing it with me.
I think it's really important for people to start talking about what we can do, what we cannot do, why should we even have to talk about this? But okay, since we have to, we will. We'll sing about it, we'll write about it. So when you have women specifically, all women from places where there've been conflict, singing, rapping, drumming, jumping around with a bass, and making noise, but in a beautiful way, I think that's really important, and I think that in and of itself is quite revolutionary.